Hello, we're going to work on page 2. There are a couple of mistakes that I want you to catch before I catch them. And one is that you're going to need to stencil some leaves on the bottom of the first page when we do our stenciling. I only did it at the top because it looked like there were stickers for the bottom, but you're going to need some leaves down there on the bottom of the first stencil page. And then when we get to the second page, I forget to put the dovetailed banner piece next to the journaling block, and I start to put my sticker down, and I do put my sticker down, the big cornucopia, but there is a dovetailed piece that needs to go under there first, so make sure you catch it before I do. Hi everybody, let's start page 2. We're gonna do a little prep first and get your Distress Oxide Spiced Marmalade, get your toffee ink. Now if you don't have this one, you can use one of our orange colors, you know, like a melon, anything that'll work for leaves, so it'll be fine. So we're gonna take that stencil, and first thing I wanna do is I'm gonna tape off, just to show you guys how to do this, and this is an easier way, especially for these leaves, because the majority of this is leaves. So we're going to go ahead and tape off part of this. So I've got some Post-it tape here, and I think it's on the wrong side. Bring this over, or I'll just rip it. All right. Ripping's not working. Okay, so I'm going to cover the diamonds and the dots here, and then I'll probably trim that a little bit just so it's out of my way, and that will just leave me a template that's full of the leaves. Okay. And on the left-hand page, we're going to need quite a few leaves up at the top. And so I'm going to take my little dauber and the Distress Oxide and just kind of make, and it looks like they had some that went off the page. So I'm going to fill those in. Ooh, how much fun is this? You gotta kind of like that whole stenciling thing, because, you know, you pick it up and then you've got this beautiful design underneath. Plus it's fun. I remember my cousin used to do these kind of things on her walls. She did a lot of stenciling when that used to be the thing. So I'm gonna take you through this, and then for page 2, I will speed up so we don't need you to have to watch me through the whole thing, just like this. And it looks like I'm guessing that for the lines that they put in there, the stems with a sepia Le Pen. So I will put those lines in later too. That's easy. So this is how you stencil, and it's gonna go at the top here, and then some, let's see, does it, I don't think it has any at the bottom. Those look like those might be, I can't tell if they're stencils at the bottom or a sticker, but I will look here, because right under that pumpkin on there is some more leaves. Yep, I think those are stickers. So we're only gonna stencil at the top. And, whoop. Slipped for a second. You can tape these stencils down too. And then I'm going to go with the toffee for the little dots, and then use the sepia pen to do a line up the middle of the leaves. So just doing the dots here, and then the rest I will speed up for you. So let's see how it looks. Awesome. All right, continuing on with the stenciling, you're just going to go through and do the top of this page, And then we're going to do a few on the bottom. And I noticed that when I did page 2 that I didn't really go high enough because there's only about an inch of space. So make sure you kind of go right up to the top on that upper right section, because those ones that you see me making right there didn't actually end up showing. So I had to do an extra stencil later. So make sure those go right up towards the top, and then put quite a few down at the bottom left-hand side, and those can go all the way out to the left-hand side too. So kind of around that corner, do quite a few around there, and that's going to make it look really neat. I love this stenciling, and this particular stencil is going to be one that I use again and again and again. Now for the sepia ink, all I did was start where the stem was and just go up into the leaf, and that worked beautifully. So that's all you have to do on that. And that pen is nice too. I have only used that a couple times, but I'm pretty happy with these Lay pens. They work pretty good. Okay, now that we have the prep done, let's get this page done, put together. It's pretty simple. Once that stenciling is done, everything else is just laying down the photos and the paper and the stickers, and you're done. So we're going to put this down. This paper is going to go about 3/4 of an inch from the edges. You can just eyeball it too and just put it right in the center. And I think I did measure it just slightly. And then a 1/4 inch away from the left-hand side for the, what color paper is that? I don't remember, but the orange. Just put that down. And then it took me a minute to realize that the next page is butted up against the first page. So I didn't really need to measure it at all. Started to do that, and then I really realized that it just butts right up against the orange page. So you can just make it look even there and put that up against it. So forget that ruler on that part. And there we go. Love it. Okay. Next, you're going to put this down about 4 inches. This is super, super busy paper, and you're going to see I'm going to have an issue with it in a minute when I need to put my photos down on it. I didn't bother making a pencil line or anything for this, because I figure if I can get it even on the sides along the edge of the base page, I don't have to worry too much. So all I needed to do was go down 4 inches and we'd be good. And then we got a little desert rose strip here. Couldn't find my glue, so I had to scramble for that. Just got back from a family reunion weekend with all the girls in the family, and we were each supposed to teach something, and we had the theme of Christmas. So all of my glues are in a basket, still unpacked from this weekend, because I'm busy, busy, busy. Off to do another retreat coming up. So when you're watching this Sunday, I will be just getting back from my 4-day retreat that I'm doing in Marshall, Michigan. So then I had one of those acetate, I had actually 2 of the acetate strips left. So if you have some left, why not use them, right? So they're so pretty, they look fancy, and are easy to put on. So I just stuck that on underneath the desert rose strip. And then I had a little bit of clear at the end that didn't have a piece of paper, if you remember that from page 1. And so I just pulled up one of those leftover strips, and then I'm kind of hand cutting a little piece for that last bit on the acetate to get that looking good. And that is just such a cool technique, the acetate. So you can use that for all your scraps and stuff. I mean, it's just a fantastic way to do it. Now, my pictures just looked too busy against that busy background, so I'm sitting here trying to figure out what I'm going to do. And I decided to use the photo placeholders as mats. And so I'm trimming down these photos of my great niece to just, I don't know, I took off probably 1/8 of an inch from 2 sides. And that just gives it a little bit of a frame that's going to make that stand out better once I put it down on that very busy book paper. So just a way to make it stand out. And don't forget, if you've got photos that aren't 4x4s, you don't have to go by that just because that's what the workshop instructions say. You could fill that whole strip there with 3x4s, with 2x2s, with 3x3s, with two 4x6s laying horizontally would fit on that strip. You could also do a 4x4 on the left and then let the one on the right, instead of be a 4x4, be a vertical 4x6. They could go right up to where those leaves are. So don't think that you have to stick to what they have. Make the photos work, make the layout work for you and not the other way around, So, so let me see. Yep, I ran out of adhesive right in the middle. So professional. But yeah, these are the babies in the family. Love my babies, and you're going to see the other one in a minute. My great niece and great nephew. Now for this sticker and popping it up, you might want to leave a little space at the top because you're going to be tucking a couple of the dovetail banner pieces up there. So you can leave a little space there, or you can just do what I did and kind of cut them down to fit under there. You're going to see that in a minute. Yes, I use a lot of that foam tape. Luckily, I am a maker and I can get it at a discount, so that's really nice. Another way to get it at a discount is to become a VIP, so don't forget about that. Valerie and I love our VIPs. So I'm tucking those banners up there, and the one's a little too long, so I'm just going to cut it quickly and make it work, right? All right, let's see. Do we have anything else on this one? I think we're going to... Oh, I know I'm going to do the journaling at some point. Okay, so, oh yeah, here we go. Here we're going to do, I think the journaling's on page 2. So I'm layering these stickers by looking to make sure I see which ones are in the back of the cluster, because this is a really big cluster. So do the ones that are in the back first, lay them down first, and then just build from that. So just keep looking to see what is laying on the other ones, and you'll get it. All right, so I suddenly realized that I did the leaves that I thought were stickers or not. So I told you this at the beginning of the video that you're going to need to put some extra stenciled leaves. So I popped a couple leaves down here because they really look like stickers on the page. And that thing is the little example page is only 3 inches tall on your instructions, so sometimes it's kind of hard to see what's a sticker and what's a stencil. So it wasn't too late. I just added a few little leaves down there, and I'm probably going to go back. I think I don't add stems there, and I'm probably going to go back and do the stems later on that. But so keep layering. And you can see next I start to realize, okay, the one pumpkin's going to be in the back again. And I think on that one, I had to tuck a little bit. So if you haven't put it down yet, you might want to either foam tape that one right in the middle and leave the sides for tucking, or, just put it down lightly and then lift it when you need to tuck some of the leaves that are going to go on the left-hand side. And now I'm going to put that big pumpkin up, and I'm going to make sure that it covers all the stems of the leaves that are on the right hand side there, because we don't want those to show. Those are supposed to be tucked under, look like they're tucked under, right? So now I've covered all those stems, and that looks really good. And just add your little sentiment there. And now as we work on the one on the left, you're going to see there's a lot of little mushrooms and stuff. So just look at it. You've got the pair of mushrooms first, and then the snail goes next. And then you've got that single tall mushroom, and then the little stubby mushroom that goes over it. And that's the order you kind of put those down once that pumpkin is down. And then the little weeds go under the pumpkin. So this is where I probably should have popped my pumpkin up, because there's quite a bit that tucks under there. But, it's not that sticky. So just lift it and tuck, And if absolutely got it stuck down really tight, you can always use undo, or, cut out the stems, right? Just butt it up against it if it won't go down all the way. So, always ways to work around it. There are no mistakes in scrapbooking or in card making, right? So I think, I think that page is, we need a few of the little hearts. Now, by the time I've gotten to page 2, I have already run out of the ones that it looks like they need in the picture. So I just decided If I have it, I'll use the one that I can see that they've used. Otherwise, I'm going to use whatever is left over there. And I would do that for page 3 too, because it was really, really tough. They're so tiny on that page. And I couldn't use my phone to magnify because I'm using my phone to record. So I just had to kind of go by that teeny tiny little picture on the instructions. And so, does it really matter? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. They don't have to be the exact gems that they use on there. Just what's more important is that you're putting them in the places that they are showing you, and the rest is just trivia. All right, so now we are at page 2 of this 2-page layout, and you're going to do the same thing. This time I am eyeballing it. I didn't pull out my ruler for this because I kind of got it. And then I know this one's going to be about 1/4 inch away from the side again. And I forgot. Yeah, we're going to put, it's funny, on the other one, they put these down in a different order. So I had to go back and check and make sure. But on this second one, you're actually going to put the book paper down first, and everything is going to pop up over that, which was kind of interesting that they did it this way. They really should have done it, put the book paper down first on the first page, and then the paper wouldn't have been so busy, right? But I guess, I'm not the designer. I had a little excess here, so I just trimmed that off. Easily done. And now you're going to put the little, I wanted to check that size. Put the border down. And see, I suddenly realized, got to put those 2 borders down. First, the dusty, what does that say? The rose? I've forgotten the name of the paper. That little pink strip, that's going down next, and then the acetate strip will go next. What was it? I forgot the name of our paper. Is it Dusty Rose or what? I don't know. So, and then I already fixed the edge of this one ahead of time before I putting it down, so that was all ready to go. Now you can put your papers down. They're going to be 1/4 inch from the edge and the top and the bottom. And we're going to go in the opposite direction this time. The polka dot's going down first. And just like that, make sure the leaves are in the right part. This is where I realized, as I'm looking at it, how low my leaves were. So you really needed to make those stencils a little bit higher. And I'm glad I caught that, and you can do that when you're stenciling there. So the orange paper goes on the right-hand side. And then this big Dusty Rose paper right in the middle. And let me see if it says... Dusty Rose was going in, it looks like 7/8 from the side of the orange paper, but I just put it right in the center. I don't even think I measured on that, did I? Oh, maybe I did. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I started to measure and realized it's actually wasn't from the edge of the white, it was from the edge of the orange paper, 7/8 down from it and 7/8 from the right of it. And then I got it right. Yeah, that was the trick. And then we have this little piece of pattern paper up there that's going to go under your journaling. It is super, super busy. So I noticed when I did my journaling that it disappears quite a bit behind, in front of that paper. So I don't know. I may go back with a sepia pen and kind of draw a line around each strip of the journaling that I did. We'll see. It's probably going to be fine. Now these ones I didn't bother to measure because I could just tell they were about 1/8 of an inch away from the edge, and I knew they were going to fit right up against each other. Well, actually, maybe I left a little sliver, but I just kind of estimated it. But I think they're about 1/8 of an inch from the edge there. They didn't give us a measurement on that one. Nope, it doesn't look like it. So, yeah, I just kind of eyeballed that and put them up against each other and picked the 3 best that I could and cut them into 4x4 of this little cutie. And then there's a little tiny tab that goes up over the journaling. And it's great for a date. I didn't put anything on there because I put the date on my actual journaling. Now, instead of using the journaling strips that we cut from the white paper, I have all these pre-adhesive ones that I love, that we sell. And if they look like they're spotted, it's because I've been using a distress sprays on them, and I found one that's a really, really light gray. And it is not by Close to My Heart, it is by Tim Holtz, and but I just like the way it looks because it's so subtle, and I thought the journaling strips would look better with a little bit of color there, and so that's why they look a little bit speckled. I'm going to pause for a moment here. Didn't think you wanted to sit there and watch me do all my journaling, so I paused for a minute, and then we're right back to it. And when I did my journaling, I knew I was going to put this cornucopia on, so I made some little marks so I would stop where, a little bit to the left on the journaling so that I could put this on. So that's how come it's fitting there, is because I did plan for it. And I still had to kind of tip it a little bit and try to make it work, but I didn't know that I was going to keep the words to a minimum over on the last couple strips there. And so you want to do that if you're going to do your journaling first. But you could always lay this down and then do your journaling around it, but I just find that when something's popped up like this with pop tape, that it's a little bit hard to write near it because it's kind of in the way, right? So you could lay it down flat and then do your journaling, or you could do what I did and just make some marks to make sure you don't go too far over. So I went ahead and I put the two leaves on the back of the sticker, so that when I put it down, it would just be easier than trying to estimate where those were going to go, especially when I need to move out of the way of my journaling. So I just put the leaves right on the back of the sticker there. And then let's see, what are we going to do here? Oh, yeah, we got some sentiments to put on, and I thought they would look cuter popped up, especially because this paper is busy. It's busy, and I know that they try to be careful and make all the other papers not too busy, but in this particular one, I think they have three kind of busy, three sides that are busy, and not a fan of super busy. But you can always fill that in with some cardstock or whatever. If things are looking too busy, you only need to use a small bit of it and just fill the rest in with cardstock, and that will still make your photos stand out. But as I'm looking at this layout, I think my photos stand out just fine in it. The only thing that's really busy on this one to me is that journaling block. So like I said, I might go around the edges with a sepia or something like that. So you see that I had to add a little bit of a leaf up there because it just didn't show up, even though I had put them where they were supposed to be. They were really needed to be up taller. And again, I'm using the little gems and sparkles, and it didn't matter too much which ones I use, because I evidently used the wrong ones on page 1 and page 2. So I'm just going with what it was. There is one sticker there, so the large heart that you see is not one of the gems. It was a sticker. And there's you can look on page 3 to see if there's any stickers that are going to be leftovers, and you can always throw those on there too if you have trouble and want a little bit more embellishments on there. But I just used what was on there. And then you see here's this mistake that I made, and I wanted to make sure you guys didn't make that same mistake. So I told you at the beginning that before you put the cornucopia down, you want to put that little banner, that little dovetailed banner there. So I just lifted it up, but I could have used undo if it was stuck down too much. And if you don't have that in your toolbox, you need it. They sell it on Amazon, so just get yourself some. I think you can find it in possibly Michael's, maybe Hobby Lobby, but it does not ruin your stuff. You pour it over it. Don't worry that it gets wet. Everything all dries nice, and it just basically shocks the stickiness for a couple minutes until it dries again, and then the stickiness just peels right back. And I've poured it over photos and whatever. The only thing it ever messed up was like a certain color of red cardstock. It did leave a stain. And here's the final product.